Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Maria Brogan. I am the CEO of the Northeast Association of Realtors. We want to thank you all for joining us as we launch our first ever virtual food drive coordinated by our Community Service Committee. Today, we're going to hear from our Community Service Committee chairs, get an inside peek into the Merrimack Valley Food Bank, and talk about the committee's goal and how you can help. I'd like to thank those who have already kicked off our fundraiser and donated. That's Lynn Shattuck, Lisa Savasian, Randy Houle, Nancy Dowling, Rayanne Winkler Jembus, Joyce Cash, and Linda Cody. Thank you so much. And now I'm happy to introduce our Community Service Committee co-chairs, Judy Cronin and Lisa Martin.
Thanks, Maria. We're so happy to be spending time today with a truly phenomenal organization, the Merrimack Valley Food Bank. Usually at this time of the year, on those cold spring Saturday mornings, we would be standing outside of local market basket stores, a whole group of volunteers collecting donations for the food bank. We've been very successful in the past years. While we were unable to support them in our usual way, we are so committed to this cause, and that's why I'm so happy to be here today. We hope that you'll find donating in a little different way, and we're going to be reaching out to all of you.
And over the past 9 years, the Community Service Committee has helped donate more than 29,000 pounds of food and more than $3,000 for the Merrimack Valley Food Bank. This year, our goal is to raise $4,900, which is just about $1 for every pound of food we typically collect by May 31st.
That's awesome. We usually have a little contest. Lisa seems to be the winner of the trophy each and every year.
Not me, personally.
Well, we're not going to be able to weigh those donations, but we will be able to count those dollars. So today we're excited to have with us Amy Pescia, Executive Director of the Merrimack Valley Food Bank. She's going to tell us a little bit more about how the food bank supports our communities and she's actually going to give us an inside look at their facility and an update on the needs currently in place by the organization. And if anyone hasn't seen the Merrimack Valley Food Bank, the internal, you guys are in for a big surprise today because what they do there is absolutely amazing. So welcome, Amy, and thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you, committee chairs, and thank you, NEAR members who have already given and who have contributed to our mission in the past. And I'll translate those gifts that you've provided in the past of pounds of food into meals, just so we can have some perspective. So the more than 29,000 pounds of food translates into over 24,165 meals. Wow. For members of our community. And we are all experiencing an extraordinary time, personally, professionally, and I'm so proud to be part of an organization that has dedicated staff members, board of directors, volunteers, and donors, because we have been, through the support of people in our community, including your group, we are poised to be able to continue serving people. And the need is, I'm not going to hide it, is going to increase. We anticipate the numbers of people needing help with food to explode. And it may sound like a dramatic word to use, but that's an accurate description of what we're going to see as far as an increase in need. And as far as what helped us get to this point, our organization began in 1991. And we started as a group of business and community members that saw a need for an organization to collect food donations, store them safely, and then redistribute them to people through a network of food pantries and meal programs. That started out of a donated space in an old mill building. We rented a U-Haul truck whenever we were offered a food donation, and we started off serving about 4 food pantries right in Lowell. And as you see when we walk around our food distribution center, and you'll see firsthand the physical work that goes into providing those meals, we have seen that growth throughout the years to a mill building. We're in an old mill building again, but we own it, which is really a great thing. And we have some challenges operating in an old mill building, but we have made it work over the years. And without the staff, volunteers, and community support, we wouldn't be able to provide food for, right now, it's at between 50 and 60,000 people a month that are getting food. And we anticipate that need to increase to up to 80,000 people a month. And while we don't have a crystal ball, and I don't have a real complicated formula to calculate that, 80,000 people is the number that we saw at our peak of service numbers. And that was in 2016. And just to give some perspective, that was in the summer. And we're coming into the summer months. Hopefully the weather shows that soon. But it's in the summer that people are surprised to hear that the need is more than it is in the winter months. So that's why we really appreciate your group conducting the food drive when you do, because your food drive combined with the letter carriers food drive every year, the Saturday before Mother's Day, and then our neighborhood food drive that we conduct at the end of April, all of those food donations help us get through the summer months. Really, they help families get through the summer months, because that's when the kids are out of school. They're not in school getting the breakfast and lunch that they count on. They get 2/3 of their calories from school meals when they're in school. And think about how much longer the kids are out of school due to this pandemic. So we are poised to continue distributing the food, and we're so glad that you came up with this creative way to help us do that. And if it's okay, we'll start walking around the food distribution center so that you can see an example of what I'm talking about. And I am going to put my mask on because I am walking out in the food distribution center with some of our team members. Some of them don't know this is taking place, but that's okay. We don't want to get them nervous. We want them to be themselves, right?
Yeah, Amy, can I ask you one quick question to share today? Approximately, how many communities does the Merrimack Valley Food Bank serve? Because I think that's important for everyone to know, that it's not just a very localized, but actually how many communities we reach out to.
It is. Thank you for bringing that up. We are called the Merrimack Valley Food Bank, but our service area is over 31 communities.
Wow.
Chances are, wherever your members are, wherever you're selling properties and finding properties for your clients, there are people in those communities getting help with food. And as I mentioned before, we accomplish our mission through distribution of food to food pantries, shelters, and meal programs in those 31 communities.
Yeah, I noticed on your website, in which we invite everybody to go and check out, there is actually a list of food banks that you support. So although we're out there to collect food for you and for the Merrimack Valley Food Bank, we also realize there might be some of our peers or colleagues or people like that that are actually in need. So where do they start for resource, or do they have someone? So that would be great, because the link on your website actually shows where the food is being distributed and what pantries are available, correct?
Yes, and a new kind of statement that I heard recently that I'm going to start adopting is that if people need help with food, please ask, and if you're able to help, please do. And on our website, which is mvfb.org, there's a tab called Find Food, and that brings the user to our page that lists our food pantry partners alphabetically by city and town.
Excellent.
And that's
Amy,
a great resource. I'm sorry?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't let you finish. What organizations does the Merrimack Valley Food Bank also support in addition to the community food banks?
We operate direct service programs that address the nutritional needs of vulnerable populations. For example, we have a mobile pantry that delivers groceries once a month to people who are homebound, who are disabled and or elderly, and they're not able to get to a food pantry due to frailty or illness. That program serves now about 375 individuals monthly, and that's a growth from about 325 individuals that we were serving average each month before the pandemic started. Right. We have been getting a lot of calls recently from people who have tested positive, who are quarantined. And then we've also added, so those could be emergency deliveries. Maybe those families need that delivery one time. But we've also gained about a dozen new clients to enroll in that monthly program. And it helps those people to maintain health, because if anybody is familiar with medications, taking blood pressure medication is, you need to take that with food and some other meds as well. And also, we want people to be able to feed themselves and then pay their bills. We don't want them to have to choose between paying their electricity or their gas bill, or paying their medication copay, or buying food. So that mobile pantry helps those people with that monthly delivery. And it's also socialization, because most times it's the same volunteer every month making that food delivery, and it's about 28 meals worth of food. And one of our colleagues on Monday was sharing in a quarterly kind of check-in meeting that we had. She mentioned that the new referrals for that program are taking a little longer, because those people who were already isolated are even more isolated. Right. Because, for example, if Evelyn, who is one of our mobile pantry clients, she relies on her friends to stop by every once in a while, and they'll bring a loaf of bread and some jam, because that's one of her favorite things to eat when her medication upsets her stomach. But since this started, she's not only missing the company of her friends and that toast with jam, but when she hears the knock on the door from her regular volunteer, she lit up. And that's what she shared with our program director when she got that call before her May delivery, to make sure that she was going to be home. So people like Evelyn are struggling right now, not only nutritionally but socially, and it's even more intense now that that people are recommended to stay home and stay away from one another.
Right. Well, that's great. Well, we're all eager to get a look behind the scenes for those who haven't had a tour. So off we go. We're really excited about this, Amy.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to turn my phone around. And it's going to be a little loud, as you can imagine, because there's a lot of work going on. And this is Tony, one of our warehouse team members. And Tony is actually putting together pallets of food for our member agencies. One of the major ways that our operation has changed since this started, and I'm so impressed by the way that our team came up with the way to adjust our business, and how we've been able to continue responding to the need, is that on March 16th, we shut it down. We didn't have any of our member agencies coming into the building to get food. They would normally come in, and I'm showing you the sign-in sheet here on the clipboard. So say Maria is volunteering for the Westford Food Pantry. Maria would come in at their designated appointment, and she would sign in, and then one of our team members would walk around with Maria and say, okay, Maria, we have peanut butter, we have pinto beans, we have baked beans. we'll help you get what you want. Well, now Tony and the rest of our warehouse team, they're selecting the food ahead of time, which, as you can imagine, requires a lot more advanced preparation. And this is an example of a food order for an agency called Somebody Cares, New England. They have programs in Amesbury, and this is just an example of part of their order that they're going to pick up tomorrow. And they'll distribute this food in their pantry, and they've also had to adjust how they distribute food, as you can imagine. Because of the social distancing and the effort to keep everybody healthy and safe, they're not allowing people to line up in the pantry and select food that they would normally be selecting. Instead, they're pre-bagging and pre-boxing the food for people, and they're bringing it outdoors and giving it to them. So as contactless as possible. And then in addition to the shelf-stable food on this pallet, Somebody Cares will also get some frozen food.
I bet there might not be Wi-Fi in the freezer. We'll have to.
And then frozen protein. So frozen chicken, ground
Amy,
beef.
we might need you to repeat that. I think you lost connection when you were in the freezer.
Oh. Did you see the Ben & Jerry's?
We could see.
Maybe you couldn't hear me because I was so excited talking about the Ben & Jerry's. So the food that you're seeing now are they're pallets of food that we've ordered through our contact the state and federal government. You can see peanut butter, potato flakes, shelf-stable milk. All of the food that we manage through those contracts is nutrient rich. We're going to the lower level now. Our budget, if you look at our financials, is a little over $4 million, but most of that $4 million is the value of the federal food. So you see these pallets of food, some of it is labeled USDA. That is about $1.5 to $2 million in food value that we manage. And this area is where we operate our children's feeding program. And we're so lucky to have Michelle, one of our regular volunteers, helping fill bags that will be given to children to get them through the weekend. And our Operation Nourish program started in 2011, serving one Lowell elementary school. And now we're serving 21 schools in Greater Lowell, including the Harrington School in Chelmsford. And there are monthly deliveries that are brought during the school year to Lowell High School, Greater Lowell Technical High School, and the junior high schools in Lowell that we serve. So Michelle is actually unpacking juice boxes, cheese on cheese crackers, cereal, and this represents 2 days worth of breakfast, lunches, snacks, and items that the families can use toward a meal. So that's why we give out the pasta. And we're also giving out some of that USDA food because we know that the kids are home not only on the weekend and need that nutritional support, but they're home all week. And families need to provide that resource for their kids, and food prices have really gone up since all of this. So these are the bags that are completed, and our goal is to give out 1,000 bags this Friday.
Wow,
The
that's
children,
incredible.
And the kids are going to school online these days. Hopefully they're getting some exercise and developing and growing. And the only way they can do that is by having enough nutritional food. So this lower level of our building, we renovated this back in 2006 using grant funds and a fundraiser. Can you hear me okay?
Can still hear you. We're good.
That's our condenser that's keeping the freezer cool. And then these are boxes of food from a design build competition called Construction.
I love the name.
Each year, a group of designers and architects, they build sculptures. I'll turn this around. They build sculptures using cans of food.
Woo.
And then, this is Tony Luna, our warehouse manager. I'm on the phone with Nir. And Tony has, he's familiar with the relationship and what we've been able to accomplish thanks to your group in the past. And when people think of food banks, they think of peanut butter, boxed mac and cheese, which we have plenty of that. But we also get things like potatoes, so that families can, when they go to the food pantry, get a variety of nutritious foods that they can make meals with. And you may not be able to hear me, but I'm just going to show you our refrigerated building. I'm not sure if any of you have seen this before.
This is all new to me, so I'm excited. I can now, yeah. Now, how are your inventories? And we're seeing this room. Is this typical? Are you guys, is this low? How is this compared to normal, whatever normal is now?
It really depends on the category of food.
Okay.
We're talking about the shelf-stable food. I showed you those banana boxes of Construction that were in the basement. Just to put it in perspective, we get that food in October every year, end of October, and it's about 50 to 100,000 pounds of food.
Wow.
And it usually lasts us until the following October.
Okay.
When they do the competition again. And the way we do that is we fold in that inventory throughout the summer. Remember, I said the summer is when the demand really goes up, and that's when all of the food that we get donated from the Thanksgiving and Christmas food drives is gone. And then we use the about 50,000 pounds of food is what we would have got from the post office food drive, our neighborhood food drive, and the Near food drive.
Wow.
So we're about 80% through that Construction food now.
Wow.
So it would normally last us a year, but it only lasted
about half that.
about 5 months.
Wow.
We still have some, but it's going pretty quick.
Hoping that with the help of all of our members and whether they are our realtors and our affiliates and the networks that they have, that this will be able to be shared and that we can really help you replenish some of the things that you're going through so quickly, since the need is so great right now.
Exactly. And if people watching would like to help right away and physically bring some food donations, the items we can use include peanut butter, jelly, cereal, boxed macaroni and cheese, and the meals in a can like Chef Boyardee, SpaghettiOs, ravioli, things like that are really in high demand. Also canned fruit. We have plenty of canned vegetables, but canned fruit we can always use. and anything that's kid friendly, because again, kids are going to be home for a long time, and they have been. Yeah.
And I know a lot of the kids depend on the meals that they receive in school. So for the parents to have them home, and they might not have another way to get food on the table for their kids. So it's amazing what you guys are doing to help those families during this uncertain time.
It's a great supplement that people really rely on. People are asking for help with food than ever before. So there are families that are seeking help that had never had to before. That's what we're hearing from our member agencies.
What we had talked about on our phone call is that there were a lot of organizations that both NEAR and the Merrimack Valley Food Bank support, and I didn't realize that for some of the, not only do they support the food pantries, but a lot of the larger shelters, but also some of the smaller ones. And some of the other groups, it was Megan's House and Lazarus House that we have supported for many, many years, because they hit different parts of our geographic hearts in both Lowell area and the greater Lawrence area.
Some of the real success we've had is gathering that actual physical food for them outside of the market baskets. And I mean, there'd be times where we'd have like 4 or 5 carriages filled with food, and thankfully Tony was there. Tony would come and he would heist all that up into the truck, and then would start again. Market Basket has been such a great supporter of letting us be out there and collect all that food, and all by volunteers. And that's what our community service is all about, as we wait for Amy to get back in a great signal so we can hear more about the food bank. But being committed to the community is what we're all about, and we welcome any and all NEAR members to join us. I think what's most important is that we realize how committed this committee is, without being redundant there. It would have been just so easy for us to say, oh, well, we can't stand outside of the market basket this year, but the committee members, we all reached out together and decided that even though it might be more of a challenge, that we are definitely dedicated and committed to each and every fundraiser we do on an annual basis. And I think that's important to say. There's many committee members that actually have been part of this committee longer than I have. Been here for at least 5 years, and people like Lynn and Sue, and too many to mention all of you, but you really make a difference, and the enthusiasm that you bring to all of us really lets it to be easy to get together to do things for this community.
And speaking of giving back and the impact that it has on the community, some of the stats that we saw that we've been posting, that I didn't realize how far the food bank could stretch dollars that were donated. And just $20 provides 60 meals, or 4 school-aged children with a bag of food to take home for the entire weekend. So those bags that Amy was showing us being packed earlier, they can give 4 school-aged kids bags to get them squared away for the whole weekend. $50 provides 150 meals. $100 provides 300 meals. $250 provides 750 meals, and $500 provides 1,500 meals. So if we are able to reach our $4,900 goal, there are going to be thousands of meals that the Merrimack Valley Food Bank is going to be able to help provide to people in our communities that are in need of food right now. So the impact is great, and the need is even greater right now.
Right. And we're really reaching out to all the members, and I'm not sure, I apologize if you shared this in the beginning, Maria, but what we as a community service have donated to kick off this virtual food drive. Do you want to share what we're doing as a committee?
I'm happy to. So the Community Service Committee has their own fund, so they raise monies that they can put forth to different charities in our local area, and our Community Service Committee has invested $500 in this particular fundraiser. So we're really happy that, you know, the Community Service Committee puts their money and their donations where they put the ask. So they never ask without contributing themselves. Absolutely. And Judy had mentioned some of our long-standing committee members, and you had mentioned Lynn, and Lynn Shattuck is a past chair, has been on the community service committee back when I started at NEAR in 2005, and she was the very first one to make a contribution. So our committee members are so dedicated. They have some of the biggest hearts, and they are always so giving and so charitable and always willing to provide and give back to our communities.
Absolutely. And some of the ways that we raise this money, you see us out there all the time. Penny Hamill, Kathy Farrell, again, I can't mention all of you, but we're pushing those raffle tickets, and you're like, why are they coming to purchase another raffle ticket? I've already done this or whatever. But this is how we build our funds. And the reason why we build our funds is we always try to hold some aside for emergency situations like this is. So we thank each and every one of you out there that buy our raffle tickets, that attend our comedy night, or anything that community service is putting on. It's reasons like this that you allow us to get out there and to just get the enthusiasm going so that we can continue to do the good for the community.
And this, we're going to run this for 2 weeks, right? The food drive, we're going to be running it for 2 weeks.
We are running it through the end of the month. So May 31st is our deadline that we hope to reach our $4,900 goal. We're already in this first day. The last time I checked, we've already reached more than 20% of that goal. So we're already excited. I think we're going to exceed it. Maybe we'll go, maybe we should up it to maybe $10,000. I don't know.
So as you see those emails coming out again from NEAR, it's going to be all for a good cause. Hoping a lot of you were able to join us today, and hopefully we'll get Amy back to thank her for giving this time. But you'll be hearing from us through emails, and we're all, as committee members, will be reaching out to our colleagues and peers to ask for anything that you can donate. Will really be appreciated. I mean, Maria told us that what $20 provides, and if we can do that, each and every one of us, I think we can exceed our goal.
I think we have Amy back now.
Yes. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Don't worry.
Building. Thank you so much for your generous support and for this creative option to keep the tradition going and helping our neighbors in the community.
Yeah.
Thank you, and thank you for taking the time.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
I mean, it's amazing to see, for those who haven't been in the building, and to see those volunteers still there during this pandemic. I mean, you guys are doing so much wonderful things for everyone, and the wide area that you guys reach is absolutely amazing. Did we have any questions that came in, Maria? Any particular questions for Amy?
Not. Let me check. We have other staff checking our Facebook, but it doesn't look like I've had any questions. I think people are probably just in awe of all that you do. This was the first time I've ever seen the food bank from the inside. So it's incredible to see. And I think the numbers that we had heard are just incredible. And I'm amazed at how you guys are still working and there and supporting our communities, and we love you. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you. We love you too.
And Maria was able to share how much our dollars actually provide for the food bank while we lost your interruption there. So to reiterate, $50, Amy, what does that help you with?
Maria said it perfectly. I don't have the numbers in front of me.
150 meals. 150 meals.
That's amazing. And not only for people that go through the food banks that you support, but to send those backpacks home with the kids when they are in school for their weekend nutrition and things like that. That's absolutely amazing. All right.
So thank you for taking the time with us, Amy and Maria and Judy and anybody else that was signed on. And please be sure to visit NEAR on Facebook, or visit www.northeastrealtors.com/food drive to make your contribution today. Please share and help us reach our goal. And hope to see you next year at the supermarkets. But for now, it was nice seeing you online on this Zoom tour. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you all for joining us. Get out there and let's get some donations in for them.